So what is up, guys? Suda the Savage back, and y'all already know, like usually what I say when I have to make a separate video about the Saints, it's not a good thing, but I am recapping every single game from this season, and of course, like most of my other individual Saints videos, this is not one I was looking forward to filming, as the Saints, they play the first NFL game in Las Vegas in Sin City, and we lose to the Raiders 34-24. Now, this one was just a bad loss. But I'm going to get into the recap, going over, who did well, who struggled. But anyways, just a quick disclaimer before I start. This is going to be one of the last videos you see me filming down here because, I finally got my new desk up in my room. Now, originally, I was going to film this after the Saints game, but I'm filming this like a day after because it took me a few hours. It took me about an hour and a half to build that desk. But anyways, no, don't be surprised if this is one of the last videos you see. I'm probably going to film like 3 more videos down here, and then I'm moving upstairs. But anyways, enough about this. Without further ado, let's get this personal hell started. Alright, so now I'm just going to start off with the recap. So starting off, Saints, we get the first ball, and, we make a long drive down the field, show that maybe we can get the first score of the game. And we do, but sadly, it was a 31-yard field goal. Not the start that I wanted, but as always, like I say, I'll take any score. I'll take like 3 points over no points. So yeah, then eventually, Raiders, they get the next ball, but eventually, we held them to just about 6 plays, and then we eventually get the ball back. They punt to us, and then it takes us about 9 plays just to get into the end zone for the touchdown, and it was just a 1-yard rush by Alvin Kamara. So honestly, I was happy, going up 9-0 now. There was a lot of penalties during that play, there was an offside when we tried to kick the extra point. So we decided to go for 2, but then we get like a false start. It was an illegal formation penalty. So then we just choose to kicking the extra point again. So Raiders, they get the next ball, and of course, we force the punt again. Our defense is showing that they're coming on in strong, but unfortunately, on the very next drive, we go 3 and out, and then the Raiders, they get the ball, and they make a long drive down the field for a touchdown. And so eventually, I'm getting a little concerned, but we do make short work of the field as we do score another touchdown, this time to Jared. It was a 6-yard pass to Jared Cook. And then the Raiders, they get the ball next, and they also go down the field and get a 15-yard touchdown from Derek Carr to Zay Jones. So many of these times, there was just like a lot of penalties that we were taking, mainly like neutral zone infractions, so that wasn't fun. But then, of course, the Saints were driving down the field, trying to get some points in before the 2-minute warning, but Breeze just made a horrible pass. He was trying to hit Deontay Harris, but it got intercepted by the Raiders. And, it takes them a few plays, and the Raiders get the ball, and they kick the 28-yard field goal. So we go into halftime, tied 17-17. So already, we had been making some mistakes, and, we can't afford these, because they were going to get the next ball. So I wanted to have a lead, at least a 10-point lead, 6 at the minimum. But, of course, when Breeze threw out an interception, I knew it wasn't happening unless we were getting an interception. And then, of course, the Raiders get the ball, they drive down the field, and we get another freaking PI. This one on Marshawn Lattimore. I kept saying this after the Bucs game. We gotta stop taking so many pass interferences. But it just never worked. Derek Carr eventually gets just a 1-yard pass to Darren Waller for the touchdown. So, yay. Saints, we don't really do much with the ball. We try, but of course we just took so many holding penalties in this game. Got called for a couple of holds, an illegal blindside block while trying to make progress. So it just was not good. So Raiders get the ball back. They make a lot of movement down the field. Going to the fourth quarter, and Derek Carr tries to do an HB toss to the backup running back, and he fumbled the ball, and the Saints pick it up. So awesome. We get the ball back. Hopefully we can tie it, but of course we don't do anything with it, and with very little time, we punt the freaking ball. And so eventually the Raiders, they get the ball back, and, they make another long, long drive down the field. And there was an interesting play that happened where Derek Carr threw a pass out to Hunter Renfrow. We tackled him down, and it was believed that he fumbled it, which he didn't. His knee was down. So we choose to challenge that, and it was just a waste of a challenge. And, 3rd and 10, we just need to get a stop. And then they do a 20-yard rush with Jalen Richard for the touchdown. So I'm thinking, God damn it, this is just worst case scenario. So that really blew. That was just tough. So eventually the Saints, we realized that we gotta get back in this. Score a touchdown, stop the Raiders, and then just try to hopefully score another touchdown. So we make a quick drive down the field as Alvin Kamara rushes in for the 3-yard touchdown. So, just what we needed. We just needed another score, and that's exactly what we got. And then, of course, we only have 2 timeouts, and because Sean Payton just wasted one on the fumble, which was just, I knew was a bad idea. Like, don't challenge that unless you're 100% sure you're going to win it. I think he maybe had like a 75% chance to win that, but didn't win it. So, we force them to a 3rd and 5, and I'm thinking this is the time where we can do it. Just get one more stop. And Derek Carr goes for a deep pass for Henry Ruggs III. So he overthrew him by a mile, but of course, Janoris Jenkins took a defensive pass interference, and it was over. They get the ball down the field. We only have a timeout. And, we got the 2-minute warning. They're in field goal range. So, of course, we force them to kick a field goal. It's a 54-yarder, hoping that Daniel Carlson misses it. He did not. And he kicks the game-sealing field goal. And, we try like one last chance just to get it down the field. But we didn't. And that was the game. So, yeah. Obviously, there's a lot to dissect, so I'm going to get into that when it comes to like certain players, just recapping certain player performances. So let's get to that. All right, so now I'm just going to kind of get into some player stats, who did well, who did bad. So starting off with the man himself, Drew Brees. Oh, man, he was okay, 26 for 38, 312 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. The pick he threw was just so bad. And already, he hasn't been able to show off his arm that much. Now, I am concerned about this quite a bit. Like everyone else, I keep seeing guys are talking like, oh, Drew Brees, he's done. His arm strength is given out on him. He's done. I'm not going to fully push him aside because, the times where he does try to show off his arm strength, his receivers, they got to catch the damn ball. Maybe if his receivers could catch the damn ball, maybe we wouldn't be bitching so much about how he can't throw that far. Now, yes, I do know we are doing a lot more like shorter passes, and like I'm okay with it, but I want some more depth plays into it. So honestly, our best player of the game was Alvin Kamara. Had 13 carries for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he did follow up with 95 receiving yards but no touchdowns there. So had over 160 scrimmage yards. He was dirty. So that is what I like to see out of him. And the only other good receiver we have was Traquan Smith. 5 receptions for 86 yards. And then other than that, no one could crack over 25 receiving yards. We had Ty Montgomery, 25 yards. Deontay Harris, 23 yards. Latavius Murray, 19 yards. Emmanuel Sanders, he could not catch the damn ball. And we threw to him so many times. And he only had 1 reception for 18 yards. I knew we should have taken Justin Jefferson. I knew we should have moved on from Sanders. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to push Sanders to the side, but you got to tighten up, bud. And, Adam Trotman, the tight end that we drafted, we only gave him 1 throw for 17 yards. Josh Hill only had 16 receiving yards. And Jared Cook, after his big week against the Bucs, just didn't really do much. Only had 2 receptions for 13 yards. And back to the rushing game, we only had 6 other carries that were to other guys that weren't Kamara. Latavius Murray only had 3 carries for 14 yards. Deontay Harris, 1 carry for 11 yards. It was just kind of one of those end-arounds. And Taysom Hill, 2 carries for 8 yards. So, honestly, not bad on the rushing. But don't forget, we gave them so little touches. And, of course, I'm going to shred something apart. That freaking defense. So, I kept saying against the Bucs, if we took less penalties, this would be a much, much more convincing victory. But it wasn't. Because we took 10 penalties that cost us over 120 yards. I don't get how you expect to win a football game when you're giving up 125 yards on like the defensive and offensive side. We took way too many holds and a couple of really bad pass interferences. Ultimately, if we had a couple less of those, we probably could have had a chance. We probably could have won this game. Defensively, a couple of guys did well. Marcus Williams, Demario Davis. I'll be honest. The defense, give them a solid 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. That's not solid. That's nah. Fuck it. 4 out of 10. The defense just did not come to play. And the offense, I'm going to give them a 6 out of 10 because, we showed real promise at the beginning, at least in the first half, and then we didn't really show anything until the end of the game. So, great start, but a completely lackluster, basically, end of second to, basically end of fourth quarter. So, offense gets a 6 out of 10, defense gets a 4 out of 10. In terms of special teams, Will Lutz, kicked his extra points, had 3 of them, kicked 1 field goal. So you know what? He did well for himself. He gets a solid 9 out of 10 because, I'll give him more if he's able to kick longer field goals, but we only call him when he's needed, so fuck it, 10 out of 10. And Thomas Morstead did great jobs punting. 2 punts inside the 20, so great job to him. And in terms of kick returns, Deontay Harris, he's the main guy on kick returns, so he did a good job. And so now I'm going to get over to the Raiders. So Derek Carr, a lot of people love to shred into him, but you know what? He played a good game. I won't discredit him. Sure, our secondary takes a few games to get into check, but he did a great job. 284 yards and 3 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, he had 27 carries for 88 yards. So yes, the Saints D, the pass rush is amazing. The pass defense or the secondary always takes a little bit of a while to get into check. And, Jalen Richard had 2 carries for 26 yards, but he did have that 1 touchdown that was practically the dagger. But if your biggest guy in the game was Darren Waller, we just couldn't cover him. He just we would do a good job with every other wide receiver, but somehow Darren Waller was always open. I think he's the fastest tight end in the NFL right now, and good reason. 12 receptions, 105 yards and a touchdown. He played an amazing game. Bryan Edwards only had 42 receiving yards. Hunter Renfrow, 37 receiving yards. Foster Moreau, 31 receiving yards. Aguilar, 19. Many of the guys Derek Carr was just kind of throwing the ball all around, but he threw quite a bit to Darren Waller. So he was kind of carried by him. I'm just kidding. Darren Waller did well. I'm not going to discredit him. But, of course, the big touchdowns, were to Zay Jones and Andre Ingold. So, yes, and yeah, I'll get to the defense in a second, but the defense did a good job holding the Saints in check. Yes, the beginning was a little bit rough, but they buckled. They played strong. Kept the Saints in check. So I'm going to give their defense an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 will give them their defense because, yes, they did get off to a slow start, but of course, the time when they shut down the Saints, actually, no, I'm going to give them 7.5 because, slow start, but a great finish. And the offense, I'm going to give them a solid 8.5 out of 10. It was consistent the whole game, and the one thing they did well on offense, they kept the ball for such a long time. The amount of time they had the ball was just ridiculous. They had it for over half the game. So, great job to them. And, of course, they converted on every single third down. And that's why I'm giving this Saints defense a 4 out of 10. Because we could not stop a single third down. And, of course, we took way too many penalties. And, really, that's it. Honestly, the Saints, the grade I will give them is a 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10, that's what they deserve. Nothing higher, nothing lower. They were, straight in the middle, If they were just more consistent on offense, and, if they were just, a little bit better on defense, took less PIs. I mean, they only took, 2, but, if our offense took a lot less holds, defense, did a better job with the secondary, I could have definitely seen maybe, a 7 or an 8 out of 10 overall in the game, but I'm giving them a 5 out of 10. Raiders, I'm going to give you a solid 8 out of 10 for the game. Great job. You know, I am pissed that you beat me, but you know what? You deserve the victory. You played very well. No doubt about it. And of course, but that does come with a loss because your head coach John Gruden and my boy Sean Payton, our head coach, both got fined $100K for having their masks off. I think, like, if you want to have good communication and not have to wear a mask, do what Andy Reid does and wear the bubble shield. Sure, it's not good when it's cold. It's going to get foggy, but hey, if he can do it, you can do it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. On to the outro. And that is going to wrap up my video for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I hate making these videos. I honestly hate making videos when the Saints lose. It's just because I have to bash into the team I love. But I do it for you guys. I do it for your entertainment. So thanks for sticking around. I do it for you guys. So if you like this video, make sure to click the like button. It only takes a second of your time. Also, consider subscribing to my channel. Also takes a second of your time. If you want to see my first 2 prediction videos for the season, links to that will be in the description below. If you want to see my Saints versus Buccaneers recap, link to that will also be in the description below. And comment down below what you thought about the Saints and Raiders game or any other game in general this week, you know, thoughts on all the injuries that are coming up. Trust me, I will be talking a lot about injuries in my week 3 predictions video. Make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok at @SudaTheSavage. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Hope to God we can get the win against the Packers. Otherwise, I am screwed. I already have a friend who's a Packers fan who's going to make me wear all his Packers gear. So I'm not looking forward to that. But anyways, peace.